Democrats insisted on pursuing impeachment proceedings despite many arguing that it would only further divide the country. Meanwhile, the fallout from the impeachment trial continues. And joining us now to talk about this is North Carolina Congressman Madison Cawthorn. Congressman, great to have you with us.
John, it's an honor to be on, my friend. Great talking to you.
Great talking to you, too. I didn't know I was doing this today. I haven't had a chance to interview you yet, I don't think. So I'm happy to be doing this for Chris and getting the chance to talk to you. You know, I want to talk about the impeachment to start off with. During that process, here's what you tweeted out. Democrats want to build back bitter. And I think that's a great way to kind of talk about, you know, we were just talking to Mark Halperin about the fact that a lot of folks really consider yesterday kind of Biden's first day on the job. But we haven't gotten anything really substantive, nothing about unity. It's all about, you know, identity politics and undoing Donald Trump's legacy. So where is the unity? I think bitter is a great way to describe their agenda.
Well, you even preach unity, because that's the only shield that they have. When I said they wanted to build back bitter, now it's obviously a play on words when you want to say build back better, because the reason is the only way they were able to take the majority and be able to hold on to Washington is because they have their electorate extraordinarily bitter and extraordinarily angry. Their electorate is so divided and it's so fractured that without President Trump for them to all hate and go against, they have nothing to actually unite them. Instead, you know, Republicans want to build a better country for America. We want to build a better future for our children, whereas the Democrats just want to play identity politics, like you're saying. They want to try and consolidate power, but they don't want to actually do anything with that power. Whereas, you know, I just had an amendment on the House floor where I tried to get new jobs brought into my district for my constituents. And instantly, Ilhan Omar just insinuates that I'm some kind of racist for trying to advocate for jobs in Western North Carolina. It's ridiculous.
Well, you know, we're all racist in some people's eyes, Madison. Unless you are willing to completely buy in to their agenda, you are a racist, whether it has nothing to do with race or not. If you don't agree with them on the economy, you're a racist. If you don't agree with them about the environment, you're a racist. That's where we're at nowadays. You know, 7 Republicans, of course, did vote to convict President Trump. Several of them are now facing backlash. We just talked about the letter that the statement President Trump just issued about Mitch McConnell and others. But, you know, here are the folks who voted to convict. Some of these people are going to be around for a while. Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski's up for re-election, but she seems to have a stranglehold on Alaska. But Mitt Romney, Ben Sasse, they're going to be in Congress for a while. Can anyone work with these folks?
I don't see how. I mean, you see my home state Senator Richard Burr, who literally said that he thinks his impeachment is unconstitutional. Yet then he turns right around and votes for it. I'm telling you, I don't care what the evidence is. I don't care what happened. If it's unconstitutional, the trial shouldn't happen, and you should be voting against it. This sets a very dangerous precedent. Where, I mean, what's this going to say? They're going to come and impeach Chris next? They're going to come and impeach my father? It's absurd, the precedent we're setting. It's very, very dangerous. I don't know how we work with Republicans like this in the future, because I just don't know how you trust them.
It did seem to me, and maybe you can provide some insight on this, that Richard Burr seemed a little bit more willing to go against President Trump after the charges or the investigation into his insider trading was dropped.
Well, you know, it's become very clear that he will not be running for re-election after these the insider trading allegations dropped. And now I think you're seeing that he's just someone who turns his back on the America First agenda. And that's very, very sad. He's someone that I used to look up to. He's been my senator for almost my entire life. I interviewed with him to have a nomination to the United States Naval Academy. I respected him. But now that he seems to have nothing left to lose and doesn't need the electorate anymore, it becomes very clear that he's just trying to play power games and not actually put America first.
Well, it's a hard lesson I think we all have to learn. That politicians, you know, you may like them a lot, but once they get into office, and this is, you know, all due respect to you, is you have to hold them accountable. They have to still do their job, and you have to separate your personal feelings from the man or the woman sometimes from the office holder, and that's hard to do. I also wanted to get your take on this. Yesterday, several House Republicans wrote a letter demanding answers from Speaker Pelosi on security decisions leading up to January 6th. Now, she's calling for this 9/11 style commission to look into what happened, but what do you think is Nancy Pelosi's level of responsibility? She is the Speaker of the House. That is, you know, the people's house, but she's ostensibly in charge of everything that happens underneath that dome, more or less. What do you think her level of responsibility is here?
I think her level of responsibility is very high. I think it needs to be investigated. You know what? Her sergeant at arms decided to delay the request for having National Guard troops brought into the country, brought into the Capitol, when it was very clear that we needed them multiple days before. And then even after the insurrection started, or really this riot started happening, you saw that the Nancy Pelosi sergeant at arms delayed about a complete hour before they called in the National Guard. It was very, very dangerous, and it cost lives at the end.
Yeah, and the other question too is we're hearing now that Pelosi says this razor wire is going to be up and the fence is going to be up around the Capitol until this fall. First we were told it was because of the impeachment trial. Maybe then it was going to be up until March, and now the fall. Is that acceptable to you?
You know what? I'm going to go a little off what my comms director and my communications team, get talking points they really wanted me to focus on, and talk to you about something that really concerns me. When I hear that they want to have this razor wire, this fencing, and these troops in our Capitol for multiple months, and then I hear that they want to pass H.R. 127. You see the Biden administration release a press release that they're going to be coming after what they label assault weapons, and they're trying to disarm us. When they're trying to consolidate power around the Capitol and take our power of defending ourselves away, I'm very afraid for what that signals. It's a very, very dangerous road we're walking down.
Yeah, it's never a good sign if you are an elected official and you have to build a fence around where you do business to protect yourself from the people. Usually that's a sign you're not doing a good job. And again, that's not directed at you, but it's directed at some members of Congress because there's obviously some folks that don't feel like they're getting their money's worth when it comes to their tax dollars. Now, also another topic we have to talk about, big tech always censoring conservatives. I wanted to get your thoughts on this soundbite from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He's taken on big tech.
The status quo has all been a one-way street with big tech, where they have all the power, they dictate all the rules, they take whatever data they want, when they want, and consumers get virtually nothing except the, quote, privilege of using their own devices that they've already paid for. But we can't let it go on any longer.
Real quick, Congressman, Ron DeSantis is striking the right tone here with big tech. Will others follow his lead?
Well, you know what? It's unclear if President Trump's running again in 2024, but if he decides not to, I'm telling you, I hope Ron DeSantis runs for governor or runs for president. I'm telling you, if every governor in our country was as courageous as him, willing to stand up to big tech, willing to fight against these unconstitutional lockdowns, willing to open up his state and allow people to make a living and make their own risk assessment of the coronavirus, I think our country would be in a much better spot. I think people do need to follow him. I'm co-sponsoring a bill that's taking on big tech and reforming Section 230 and allowing civil suits to be brought against big tech when they try and censor our free speech. I think this is something that every elected official should be pushing for, because consolidating this much power into the hands of just a few people at Google, at Twitter, and at Facebook, it's very dangerous to our First Amendment.
Well, it's common sense, and there was bipartisan support for doing something to rein in big tech before the impeachment. It's hard to think that, anyone wants to work together right now. I know you're working on this and other things. Congressman, great to see you. Take care.
Hey, brother, it's an honor to get to interview with you finally. See you later.
Likewise.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.